Hey everyone, it's Dan Wardrope from Flexxable here. I wanted to talk to you today about what happens when your Facebook ads specifically start bombing on around a Wednesday. So I'm gonna jump on a quick, gonna transition over to a quick call now with one of my account managers, Connolly. Gonna run through a few things that we would potentially do to kind of reignite the campaigns and bring our cost per leads down. Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching our content. Every Tuesday and Thursday we're going to be releasing new videos, so if you want to stay up to date, all you have to do is click that subscribe button and ring that bell right down there. Hi guys, so I'm sat here with Graham in a virtual Zoom meeting. How's it going, mate?
Not too bad, not too bad.
One of the things that we see quite often when we're running ads on a pay per lead basis for our clients is that things usually go really well on Sundays, Mondays and Tuesdays. And it's almost like there's a brick wall sometimes on Tuesday nights, and Wednesdays things start to become a little bit more expensive. You know, what we generate the leads for and what we sell them for is the difference between those two is our profit margin. So when we start, squeezing that margin a little bit, it makes me a little bit worried. So I turn to you guys to figure out what's how to fix this problem. But I wanted you to talk about a few things that you do to combat this problem. It's actually what made me think about this post is today is Tuesday, isn't it? So if we have a look at what was happening on Sunday within this account, Sunday the 5th of April, we can see here that our cost per lead across the board probably on average is about, running this in Canada at the moment, but it looks like our average cost per lead is probably around circa $15 per lead, something like that.
Yep.
Yesterday it was actually cheaper. It's probably closer to about $12 per lead. So on average, if you look at how many we generated here, spending about $1,000 a day. Not a massive account for us, but still fairly significant. So we want to keep a close eye on it. And then today is Tuesday. We woke up to the stats. We've got 3 leads. One of the campaigns is working for $11.66 a lead. The others haven't got any leads yet, and we spent $123. So it means our cost per lead at the moment is about $40. My gut is that it's definitely not panic stations, because a couple of leads in these each are going to start bringing our cost per lead down significantly, but it's probably, Graham, enough of a sign for us to start looking at this a little bit closer. So what would your steps be at this stage in order to get things back on track, or would you do nothing, or what would you do?
So if it's a bit like this, I'd be looking at the funnel first, definitely, just to double check everything's working, which it is. And I'll be looking at the funnel stats as well. So for example, yesterday, the cost per results page view was about $4. And I'm looking at it, and today it's up to around about $11.
Okay.
So that could be why we haven't got a lead in it. That's about triple the price.
What it would be. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So just to explain to the guys, we're running a quiz funnel here. So what we do is we send traffic from Facebook to our quiz, and then we show a result in that quiz funnel. So it could be, do you qualify for this? If so, you might be able to save this much money, or it's going to cost this much. And that, when we show people what that result is, i.e. how much it costs or how much they can save, that's what we call our results page. So we know, if we track all of our metrics through, how much it costs roughly to get to that results page on average. And if we see that spiking, i.e. tripling, then there could be a problem, or we need to at least look at it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it will basically mean that the lead cost will be triple the price if you're going off linear funnel stats. So it would mean I'd want to be looking at the quiz page to get a split test up for that, just to see if we can improve that quiz conversion rate to the next page.
Okay. Do you think it's statistically significant? It'd be worth changing anything, or would you let it run? I mean, what would you be worried at this stage?
I wouldn't be too worried, because different times of the day can yield different results.
Yeah.
So that's an important factor to think about.
Yeah. So for those of you listening, we do look at this. Where's the calculator? Statistical significance calculator. So you can easily, Neil Patel's got a blog, and you can easily put the stats in here and figure out whether you're, let's say, for example, you had 1,000 visits to that results page, and your cost per results page view was $12 for 1,000 visitors. That's different to having, 30 visitors with a $12 results page result, which would mean that for 30 views, it's not statistically significant, but for 1,000 views, it most definitely is. So you can check that using a tool like this, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So you may already have a split test running, and one variant's not doing as well as the other one. Just changing it back, change it to 100% to the champion could solve your problems there already. But
exactly.
I think it's important to have a quick look at the funnel first. But I think the main thing you want to be doing is just getting new ads up, because I think that's the best way to get cost per lead down, really.
Yeah.
So I would be looking at which ads have been performing the best over a 3 to 4 day period.
Yeah.
And then, so I think we do within our agency is basically try and change the first 3 lines of an ad that's working well. Similar to what you're doing, but just make it a bit different.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got, I'm not going to go in here and show the ads, but it's funny enough, we've got an intern, Emily, who's with us for 2 weeks over the university holidays. And we've just asked her to basically write new creatives every single day for us, right? So she's seen what ads have been working within these 4 campaigns. And what we've asked her to do is go into Sandbox-E for Emily and upload basically better versions of the ads that she has that have been running previously, that have been getting results in here. So what we can do is take what's in here and then duplicate them and put them into the live campaigns. And how would you do that? If you wanted to put new creatives in, Graham, what would you do? Where would you put them, and how would you manage that?
So obviously you want to be putting them in the sandbox first, just to check they work. And you should be doing this like quite regularly, on a regular basis, just chucking up a few ads in the sandbox just to see if they're working on a small budget. And if you wake up and it's like this, then you want to be trying to transfer out other ones that are working in the sandbox over to the production. But if you haven't done that, then start the sandbox and start testing loads of new creatives. Okay, so
this sandbox should probably be switched on, right?
Yeah.
And running at all times. So this is a good example of where we should be doing better. We should have this sandbox on, and we should be testing all of the new ads within this little campaign over here. And when they're working, move them over to these bigger campaigns, right?
Yep. And this is quite a new account though, so we haven't got that. So all these campaigns here, they are basically our starter.
Yeah, they're sandboxes themselves. Yeah, that makes sense. So what would you do if there was nothing particularly working in the sandbox, and the production campaigns were spitting out roughly the same cost per lead as the sandbox campaign, and the cost per lead was too high still? And so what would you do then?
I'd look at audiences then. Again, I'd still try and populate the sandbox with more ads to try and get a better ad at a better cost per lead. But then I'll be looking at audiences, because sometimes when you're running ads to the same audiences, even if they're big, sometimes the algorithm, they do get a bit fatigued, and it's good just to refresh. I mean, for example, for our Flexxable campaign, for the actual course, I think it was at about $10 a lead. We put in about 7 new audiences to the best performing ad, and it's come down about $6 a lead over a week period, and that's quite a significant reduction. So I think it is important to get different audiences, and the best way to get those is to really delve into your stats. So I think I was looking at one of our campaigns the other day, and it was most Android users were getting the cheapest conversions. So just throw up a broad ad set, and kind of use those analytics to guide which audiences you're going to put it to.
Yeah, exactly. I guess we can delve in and have a look at an ad, like let's say over the last 3 days. My videographer is going to blur all of this out, but we might see here that this particular ad set here is doing well, and there'll be one particular ad that one's been rejected here by the looks of it. But this one here, for example, it looks like it's doing all right. And if you preview it, you'll see that at the top, there's a space for 3 lines here in the top section. And Graham was just talking about then how many variations you can have of those top three sentences, or not sentences, lines. Because we think about it, how long do you actually spend writing the first 3 lines of your ad? You probably spend 10 minutes creating some ad copy, maybe half an hour, maybe an hour if you're really thorough. And then you do one version of this first 3 lines. And what we found is that if we spend a lot of time and create maybe 10 new versions of these first 3 lines and keep everything else exactly the same, including the image and the call to action and the button down the bottom, then that can drastically reduce your cost per lead. In fact, it can slash it in half. And that's one of the big things that we kind of advocate, correct?
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
It's generally amazing how much you can knock off your cost per lead by just doing that.
Yes. And we see this over and over again, and people in my program are forever saying, Dan, Facebook's just died, it's bombed, it fluctuates too much, the cost per lead goes too high, struggling. And I'm like, how long have you actually taken to write some new ads and get them up in some new audiences? It's just it's very rare that there's big problems on Facebook for people that have followed these type of steps and guidelines, because usually you can get them reduced pretty quickly, and it's just a matter of spending time getting that cost per lead down.
And a great way of doing it as well is in a dynamic creative. So once you've got a ad that's working like well for you and it's starting to fatigue, get a dynamic creative up and get 5 different bits of ad copy with those 3 different lines changed and the rest of the ad the same. Yeah, that's worked well for us pretty much every time we've done it.
Okay, that's amazing. Cool. I didn't realize you were doing that. All right, so you know, I think we've covered some cool stuff here. And for those of you who know me, you're probably sick of me saying it, but it's all about the creative, right? The only thing we've really spoken about to bring this cost per lead down is getting some new ads up, maybe some new audiences. Yes, that does make sense. But generally, we've found that the ad copy is like 10 times more important than the audience, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Anything else that kind of sticks out at you, Graham, with things we can do to improve this campaign? Because it's like real time, right? We're going to have to start bringing this cost per lead down. So I'm intrigued about what else you do today, if anything.
So images as well. So with the same respect to the copy, where you're looking for the best bits of copy and trying to do variations of them, you want to be looking at images too, which I know our intern's looking at the moment. Which is kind of getting some new images that are similar to ones that are working well, but a bit different, just to test new stuff. Because the algorithm loves things being chucked at it. And so what's best, really.
Something just catches, right?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, cool. All right, mate. Well, I think that's been incredibly valuable. I've learned some stuff as per normal when talking to you, Graham. So thanks for everything.
No worries.
Back to work. Catch you later.
See you later.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.